I got David Wood and Vocab Malone with Acts 17 working together. And I've got a question for you guys. As it relates to apologetics, what about this idea of mockery or satire? Is there ever a place for it in apologetics?
Great question. So satire is only funny, and I would even say effective, if it's based upon some element of truth. So if it's not based upon something that's actually true, then it's just pure mockery or lampooning for real no reason. Okay. But if it's exposing something that's really true, then it can educate through humor or comedy. So toolkit, if they want to use it, it doesn't mean you can go wrong with it, right? But it doesn't mean it's never to be used. And I think there's biblical precedent to use satire and apologetics.
And I would agree with the claims about the Bible. For instance, when Jesus said to the religious leaders, you strain out a gnat but swallow a camel, right? He's mocking them. They would actually strain their water to make sure they didn't accidentally swallow the tiniest of unclean creatures. Jesus is pointing out, you are far more unclean than you are aware of. Yeah. And he's actually mocking them for being so meticulous in what they're doing while being so unclean in other ways. And as far as someone who's leading people down a wrong path. And so if I think if mockery and satire is allowed in the Bible under certain circumstances, then who can you use this with? Well, obviously Muhammad. So I take it as appropriate in certain contexts. If we're talking about Islam in general, I view Islam as not just a religion, but also as a political ideology, which does in fact call for the violent subjugation of the world, And so people think we're really mean when we're using satire or mockery or something like that, dealing with Muhammad. But and so I think we should try every peaceful means at our disposal of dealing with an ideology, so that future generations don't have to deal with it, to deal with, World War III or something like that. So
Lmud provides generous loopholes for adultery. It says the penalty for adultery does not include sex with a minor, the wife of a minor, or the wife of a heathen. The Talmud also encourages seduction of unwed adolescent girls called designated bondmaids. But it's important how such rapes are performed. With the designated bondmaid, one is guilty only in the case of natural connection, but not in the case of perverse connection. The Pharisees reasoned that rape in a perverted manner is outside the jurisdiction of the law. Normal rape, however, was punishable. In Babylon, sexual perversion of every kind had been a way of life for millenniums. The Pharisees were deeply influenced by such practices.
In 3 of the major treatises of the Talmud are found extensive passages which give legal endorsement to seduce and marry 3-year-old baby girls. In fact, many of the greatest rabbis of the Talmud, including Simeon ben Yochai, upheld this privilege. Today in Israel, thousands of Jews go to Meron every year to venerate the memory of Simeon ben Yochai, rabbis in the history of Judaism.
In one of dozens of endorsements of child sex, Simeon ben Yochai said, "A proselyte under the age of 3 years and a day is permitted to marry a priest." Agreeing with Ben Yochai, the great Rabbah said, "When a grown-up man has intercourse with a little girl, it is nothing, for when the girl is less than this, 3 years and a day, it is as if one put the finger into the eye." This passage says, "As tears come to the eye again and again, so does virginity come back to the little girl under 3 years." The same section confirms that sexual activity with small boys is in the same category. The intercourse of a small boy is not regarded as a sexual act. The intercourse of a small boy is not regarded as a sexual act. The intercourse of a small boy is not regarded as a sexual act.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Barakah, Hakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, as peace to the elect. I want to touch on this video here, really short video if I can. The intro says it all, okay? Now they're trying to Vocab Malone and I believe this guy David Woods, they're using an excuse to make mockery of someone's faith and someone's belief. Okay, mainly their mockery is pushed towards the Hebrew Israelites and towards the Nation of Islam. Okay, let me say the Muslims. Okay, the Nation of Israel and the Nation of Islam. You know, that's what it is. Okay, and you can see the trickery of how they make excuses according to the Bible. You know, see, you can use the Bible to make an excuse to do anything you want to do. Okay, but when you're dealing with terrorism, you know, and I'm speaking in the manner of the lies that's been put on Islam in itself, and now being mostly pushed more towards the Israelites. Okay, you can clearly see that when you look at this, they've created a situation to make an excuse to target it. Okay. Now, Islam, of course, there's a lot of terrorism when it comes to Islam and how they do. But there are some peaceful people who practice Islam, so-called, okay? And what they're trying to do is make the boogeyman out of, the so-called, let me say the Israelites. And now, if we did the same thing according to these people heritage or with their belief that runs YouTube, okay, Vocab Malone will never do a video on the clips that I just put in following their heritage, okay, the Jewish heritage. What if we made mockery of the Talmud or made mockery of Jewish people? Wouldn't that be called anti-Semitism? Now, if you're going to do it right. Make mockery of the Jewish people as well. Don't just make mockery of the Muslims. Make mockery of make mockery of the Hebrew Israelites first. Make mockery of the Muslims, okay? Mock Christianity, okay? Now, they believe Jesus is in hell being boiled, okay? And don't say it's different sects of Judaism, which there is. But you all are targeted together, just like you targeted all of us together. Just as you said all so-called blacks, let me just say so-called Hebrew Israelites, and then you had the nerve to put black Hebrew Israelite in front of it, black on it, when we said not to call us that. And because we're Shemitic, okay, you can't say that's anti-Semitism as well? That's crazy. In other words, they can cry anti-Semitism, but we can't cry anti-Semitism. But meanwhile, this guy Vocab, take a look at this. This guy Vocab, let's see where he got his start from. This man named John Rubin, okay, who deemed himself a false Christian, okay? Look it up. But it says right here, Rubin is of Jewish heritage. According to his MySpace, his mother is the owner of a Christian death metal record label. What is he saying? This is all from the Talmud. Okay, they don't like Christians. They call them akum, the akum. Okay, idolatrous. Look it up. It's okay to you're not supposed to sit with a Christian. Okay, you're not supposed to walk with them unless you're on the right side. There's all kinds of things in this book that they learned from, okay? His brother is the Maker Studio CEO Danny Zapine, which means we know that these are the people that run a lot of these record labels and entertainment, Hollywood, and everything else. And this is why when you saw in the clip, when you see what happened to these young children, so-called children, that are in Hollywood, okay? Just telling you that, man. You know, you can't see it. So why is it Reisner doing a video on Rubin? Okay? Could Reisner also be of Jewish heritage that is set up over the Christians to keep them asleep as well? I don't know. He says he's German and Italian, the Sicilian, or whatever. But this is sounding kind of sketchy. It's sounding real sketchy. Okay? And then when I went back to get this information, obviously he erased it off of Wikipedia. Okay, but I had links on how to get his get it back. Okay, this is something. The 2 Chronicles 36:16. But they mocked the messages of Yahweh, and that's what these guys have done. He don't understand, and maybe he does understand. He works for the rulers of darkness. They understand that they don't believe in the Most High. They even said it. They've even admitted on countless occasions. You ain't got to flag the video to know what's happening. They've even admitted when they say God, that's not the God. The God just means power. That's not the God of the Bible. That's why they kind of spent off the Torah and went to the Talmud. Okay? These are facts. Go look it up. Okay? They mocked the messengers. They mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets. This is what you see happening now, man. Calling us black Hebrew Israelites. This is prophecy, okay? Until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy, okay? And our own people are mocking the Most High's words, man, that's set up with this guy, okay? Our own people sit there with these people, and they will sit up there and mock us right along with it, okay? I just wanted to make that short point, you know. Now, also in the Talmud, out of the Talmud, which suppose they call the non-Jews dogs, okay? Rabbis saying you can eat the blood of children. Somehow, these videos that we speak of gets flagged, you know? The sinister belief of these people aren't questioned. And, we can understand it. We understand what the heck is going on, okay? We understand what's going on, okay? It's witchcraft and hypocrisy. So this is Vocab and David Wood's way of using the excuse to mock people heritage, okay? Or people beliefs, let me say that. They're mocking our heritage, okay, but they're mocking other people's beliefs, okay? Now, if you're going to do all that mocking, okay, you need to mock Christianity. You need to mock those Christians that came over on a boat and slaughtered hundreds of thousands of Native Americans. Those same Christians that brought us into slavery. Those same Christians that gave us that Christian name, that Christian doctrine. That same Christian that gave us their white Jesus. So we're going to mock your fake Jesus, your fake idolatry, your false doctrines, okay? And that's what we're doing. We're bringing out the truth. It's not so much mockery. We're bringing out the truth, and we're going to expose you further on all the wickedness that you're doing. And I'll tell brothers to go into that book and expose, what's this man, Mark Reisner, or whatever his name is. He's got different names too, so whatever his name, maybe that's his rap name and then his real name. This Agent Reisner is going to be exposed because when you look at the beliefs that he claimed to be a Christian, but the people who set him up, he will not do a video on. And the people who got him started are those same people who follow the Talmud. Look it up. That's all I have on that. Shalom.